Okay, finally I get to hit the button. So sorry about that. StreamYard has been very weird today. I tried to get into my account earlier today and that did not work. I am not sure what's going up with it just yet. But oh well. Okay, so I'm going to answer the questions in the order that they came in. Thanks for joining me today. Hey, Kelly, how are you? Hey, Sandra, how are you? And Kay from Hot Phoenix. Thankfully, it's cooled down here a little bit. I'm excited about that. I'm looking forward to fall. Hi, Yvonne. Good to see you today. I don't anticipate a ton of people being here today because I did not schedule this until later. Because I really wasn't sure I was going to do it. This is a fast turnaround for me. So hey Sharon, good to see you, and hey Gemma, everybody, and Sandra and Claire, good to see you all. All right, so I'm going to answer Yvonne's first, and hey Caroline, Yvonne's, yours is not a hard one to answer, I don't believe. If I recall from, I'm pretty sure I know what you're doing. Okay, so welcome everybody, and let me see if I can share my screen. We're going to start in PE Design 11. So it is not letting me share my screen. This is just weird. Perseverance. There we go. Entire screen. Okay, we won't take that off. All right, let me minimize and get into PE Design. Okay, so Yvonne, if we go into our import patterns menu, let me go over here to my integrated sewing attributes window. And by the way, guys, if you ever want to see more of this, if you just put your arrows where you see where I see two arrows on the side of a double line. If you want to see more of that, you can always make it bigger. I'm going to go to a folder and I'll see if I don't have my old files. Let's see here. Let's look for commercial embroidery designs. And brother. Nope, that's brother embroidery. Evidently I don't have those on here. But it would be the same. It would be the same concept. It doesn't matter what it is. It's going to be the same concept as in the design library. Okay, so let's see here. Let's find something we want to work with. Let's say we pull this design right here in. Let me change the hoop size to the default hoop, which is a 4x4, so you can see it. Now, when your question was, how do you get pull compensation into it after you've converted it to blocks? Well, I kind of can tell you what's happening. When you convert something to blocks, the first thing I'm going to do is ungroup. But when you convert things to blocks, if you have on show by color order, you'll notice that the segments collapse. So if I had selected that whole green thing and I went into my sewing attributes, Mom, my pull compensation is still there. So I don't know what you've done. Here's my pull comp. And it applies. So maybe you've got a pattern that doesn't need pull compensation. But see this little section right here? There will be no pull comp because it's running stitches. What I thought you were going to have to do in order to add it was just to select the ones that were fills. But I would try that. So if it's not working, try clicking on the individual sections or take off show by color order and then grab the sections that are actual fill stitches. And then you should be able to apply your pull comp. Okay. My next question that came in was from Sandra. So Sandra, I have figured you out a way to get this done. Okay. So the first thing, she wants to do this little Lutheran rose. So here is the JPEG. What she was getting is double lines, and I'll show you what I'm talking about when I get there. But what I personally would do is I would start once again from the JPEG. and I would cheat. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it. Let's make it a big hoop size. We'll go ahead and leave it at a big hoop size. Then you can scale it down all you need to, but this will keep it looking decent. Go to your auto punch tool and touch next, and then touch next again. Now, here's the trick. I want you to touch the Create Lines button and choose both of the dark colors and click OK. And then I want you to turn off the color in the fill and then touch Finish. Then go up to your Shapes tab and change the outline from a zigzag to a running stitch. And now you've created your rose shape. Now you can come in and if you hold the Shift key down, you can take it lower. And if you need to do any adjusting of the drawing, so if, let's say I needed to come in here and fix this, which I know needs to be fixed. So if I come in and hit my Select Point tool, there is a little line right there that needs to go away, so I can delete that little line. And then I can come in and select the points on this and bring them down. You can also go in here to your Image tab and have it show up so you know where you want it to go. Ooh, that helps if you did not change the size. If you change the size, you're kind of out of luck on that. I changed the size, so I'm just going to have to eyeball it. But I can come in and move these to where it looks better. Now, get them all meeting in one spot. Then go and export that FCM file. So now that I've got it, we'll assume I'm adjusted correctly. Okay. So now let's turn off our image file from behind so we're not looking at it. Select it all. We'll go Control A to select it all. Go to your Shapes tab, your ScanNCut tab, and choose Export, and then take the offset spacing down to 0 and just save the FCM file. I usually take this check mark off just in case. Save the FCM file, and we'll call this Test for Sandra 2. And save it. And then close that menu. All right, now to get it to be a draw line, you're going to go into Canvas Workspace. So I am in Canvas Workspace right now, and we're going to click the SVG button. And we'll go to Test for Sandra 2, FCM. There it is. Select it all, and you can group it if you want. Doesn't matter one way or the other. Go to the paintbrush and change it from cut to draw. And then you can send that over to your ScanNCut. So now, how could you have done that without doing all of that? Well, if you had taken that rose and printed it off and gone to ScanNCut data, let's see if I can make this bigger. No, oops, undo. Let me just save it and I'll bring it in and zoom it. Okay, so let's zoom in on this. If I were at my ScanNCut and I was scanning this in to begin with, instead of choosing this option, this gives you regions, choose the last one. It should give you what you're looking for, okay? So this little button right here is line detection. Let me pull up the manual. I had it out here somewhere. Oh, I must have closed. No, I didn't. Here we go. So let me show you here what I'm talking about. So if you look, and you know, I wrote the ScanNCut playbook, but I could not find my copy of it on my computer, so I may have moved it off. This right here is your line detection option, the third option right here. That instead of giving you the double lines that you were getting, that should give you the single lines. So that is your trick around that, if that helps. So yeah, go back to the original, and because everything else I tried, I got double lines. If I came in here and I traced it in this, if I traced it in the Canvas Workspace, when I went into my image trace and I picked it up, all I could get was the double lines. So trace by outer edge is not our friend. We wanted to go trace areas by color. But when you do that, guess what? You get double lines. So if I go into my layers menu and I turn off the image, you have those double lines. When I traced it in my BES4 or BES Silver, I got double lines. So the only way to get it, that I could get it correctly, was to do the create lines in the auto punch, unless I wanted to manually draw it. Now I could manually draw it, but I was trying to make it easy on you, if that makes sense. Okay. Let's see here. You like some of the features in the new Silver. I honestly don't know how much it's going to be. I haven't seen MSRP for it. No, it will not be added. Two different companies make it. Brother makes PEDESIGN. Tajima Pulse makes the other. Okay, so it will not be added. Okay. Other questions, guys? So far, y'all are very quiet today. You were on holiday this weekend, as was I. So speaking of Silver, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about it, since I don't have any questions. We'll play a little bit here. Okay. So I told you last week that you can use that thread painter for any design. So let's test that theory. Let's go to add designs, and let's come in here and add, let's see here. Let's see what we've got in borders, not backgrounds, borders. All right, so let's take this one. And let's make it a bit bigger. If I get that satin stitch warning, which I did, I'll change it from satin to something else. So this is a built-in design. All right. And instead of having this be one color, let's see what our thread painter will do. Oh, that's kind of fun. Let's come in and pick a different look. Let's say we want autumn, since autumn's in the air, right? Ooh, I kind of like that one too, but I want more red than orange here. So let's see which direction I have to go to get that. Almost there. I like it. And then I can just say, okay. I don't want to save my theme. I'm just going to say, okay. There we go. That one's done. Let's see if we bring in something from someplace else. So I'm going to go up to let's do the design viewer so we can look at it. Let's go see what we've got here. This PC, where are you? Let me go into my D drive. Actually, let's go into the C drive. And let's go into program files. Oops, I wanted program files x86. And we'll grab something from PEDESIGN. And that would be under library. And let's do design library and see what we get. Let's see here. How about we do lace and ribbon? Let's see what happens when we do this one. Now we can move this out of the way. And let's grab that and do our thread painter. Looky there. So you get the option to do it. It doesn't matter where it comes from. It does not have to be a built-in design. It can be anything you have. You can change it and play with that thread painter. And see what you get. Ooh, I like that one. There you go. And look at it in realistic preview. Okay. Let me come back over here and answer some questions. Oh, no, Kelly. Yeah, I understand. You got to get everything done in one day. That's kind of me today. I'm getting everything done in one day. There is not a shortcut key to switch between stitch types. There's a shortcut key, as you said, to switch between curve and straight and block but there is not one to change stitch types. You have to manually do that. All right, Gemma, the convert to blocks. The easiest way for me to do it is to show you, but I can tell you what it is. Converting to blocks takes the segments of stitches and breaks them down into blocks, like if you block punch them. So what do I mean by block punching? If I'm in PE Design, and I go to the Home tab under my Shapes tool, these are your manual block punch tools. So you're putting them in as blocks instead of drawing an outline area. So that is a block of stitches, okay? Versus if I go into my outline tools or my drawing tools, any of the shapes or the rectangular tools, and I draw this is an outline, okay? Now, this is all one unit, and this is all one unit, but they're handled differently. When you're beginning your block punching, if you go to your block punch tool and you look, you have certain stitches that you can select from. Now, after you've done the blocks, now in 11, it opens up and gives you those other options. But initially, you don't have as many options. But now that I've done it, I have all of my options available. Okay, it just handles it differently. It handles it as a block instead of an outline. So when you go, let's go in here and go to import, and let's import that same card 47. I'll duplicate it, and here we go. So if I go into my stitches tab and I convert this one, we'll convert this one to blocks, and we'll leave it at OK. And we'll convert this one to outline. Now, I can convert the whole thing to an outline, or I can convert parts to outline. If I convert the whole to outline, it's all going to turn into one single block of color. Not what I'm looking for. If I convert parts to outline, each of those sections is an outline segment. So let's come and cut this off for just a second. Now you can see. So if you look, actually, let's put that back down there. Okay, now let's look at them side by side here. Do you see the difference in how these designs look stitched? So if you look at this one, you see how it kept the shading and things of that nature. If we look at the other one, it didn't. It tried to, but it really can't do it at the same time. So each of those segments is now an outline, and there's a whole bunch of holes set in there above it, around it. So you don't get that same textured look. That is the difference between the two. This is going to try to keep the original stitch type. This doesn't. It doesn't even try to keep, it doesn't keep the directionality of it. When you block punch, you get to punch in that directionality. So for instance, if I came in here and I did a circle, and I did a circle within it, and I want to, let's say we want this satin stitch, and we're going to Control C, Control V, and we're going to make it the second one smaller. Now, if I go and I set a hole, and then turn off the stitching for the center circle, and we'll turn off the outline on both sides. Now, you'll notice that that satin stitch is not going around that circle. Okay, it's going straight. If I wanted to go around the circle, I have to go into my sewing attributes and try auto. Auto should give me, it should go around in the shape that I want it to, but it doesn't always complete it in a manner that's pleasant. Okay, so sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. Having said that, if I simply grabbed my curved block punch tool and went around it, each click is going to define where my angle is. So it's just a different way of doing things. It does it in the fashion to where it's going to follow the curve. Can I change it after I've done it? Of course, there are angle lines that I can adjust, but this is how it puts them in. Because they are put in more, this is more of a traditional, the way they used to do it in the old days, before we had so many automatic tools. Now, I'm not crazy about the way that finished, so I would come in and futz with my finish. And you can tell I've got stitches that are too long. It's trying to split those satins up in a random way. But that's the difference between the two. And I want to do manual straight line with that so that it does follow the way I want it to. Okay, so I mean that's really your difference. Okay, let's see here. Yes, you can manually convert it. So you can manually digitize it. If you are in the Font Creator program, and we'll just say we're going to cancel that. We're going to go to create new font, and we'll convert from true type image. So here's what I will tell you. Wait a minute, let me see, can I do this here? Yeah, if you go to your View tab and you open, and you can select a true type font here, then you say, okay, that's not going to automatically do it. The characters will be there if you go to, let's say we go to the B. All of the characters are there for you to punch. You can dim them out a little bit, and then go to your Home tab. And let's say we want to go back to the A. Then you can block punch them. It does help if you turn better than I just did, but I'll fix that. So now I've done it. So let's come in here and fix this little nudge. And if you go to the View tab, you can say Show Preview. And my preview's over on the other side. And so if you don't like what you've done, you can come in and adjust. And yes, you can zoom in, which is what I tend to do. Not my finest job that I've ever done, but you get the concept. And then when you go save it, you always want to make sure you are on the correct spot, basically, guys. So make sure you've selected the correct character, and then go in and do a save as, and it will save it. Okay. All right, guys. Next question. Any? No? Okay, well, then let's see here. I'm not seeing anything else from you guys. No? Okay. Well, I hope everybody had a great holiday. And I hope you have a great next week or the rest of the week. Because if there are no other questions, I don't have a whole lot to chat about today. Like I said, it's been a whirlwind weekend. Um, so I may, once again, I probably will come on live next Tuesday, but I will not promise that because I get home and then I turn around and go out on Tuesday night. So it's going to be a fast turnaround. You guys are most welcome. I am happy to help it all I can and answer the questions. So you guys need to I mean, you don't have to wait for me to send out a notification to ask a question. That's for sure. Caroline, I have not forgotten about your question. I just have not gotten around to looking at it yet. I promise I will do it. It's just going to take me a little bit of thinking about that one to figure out how to do it. Okay. What else? Is there anything else you all want? If not, then it's going to be a short one today, and I'm going to say goodbye because I got to go cook for my husband since I'm gone. So I'm glad you like the review of skills. It does help. I understand that. Sometimes we have to go back in and dive in and play. And that's where Caroline's is at. It's one that I haven't done in a while, so I'm going to have to go back in and play with it. And it is mighty warm in my room today. Whew. I think I've got it set to 68, but I'm pretty sure we're in the upper 70s up here. So, all right, guys, y'all have a great rest of the week. I hope to see you next Tuesday. No promises. If I don't see you next Tuesday, then it will be another 2 weeks. So I feel like I need to do next Tuesday. So I will try. All right, guys, have a good one. Be sure and send in your questions, and I will see you later. Bye. If I can end the stream. Well, it will not let me end the stream. This is hysterical. Oh my gosh. Well, evidently StreamYard wants me to stay on here for a while. But there we go. Maybe. Nope. This is hysterical. Well, I'm going to try Firefox. Maybe I can get out of it there. This is priceless. So, and I know it's not just me because it did this on my other computer. Shoot. Oh, there we go. Enter Studio.